Welcome to it. Training camp recap, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And we thank Ramos Law. Injured in an accident? Contact Ramos Law at ramoslaw.com, medical doctor and attorney. It's DMac with Coach Mike Sanford. We'll get to a really interesting twist on Deion Sanders in his interview with Michael Irvin. That'll come up in just a little bit. Plus, we feature Courtland Sutton as he celebrates his big deal and, what Coach Sean Payton loved about him from the beginning. But first, let's just recap the day that it was at training camp. Coach, the offense sucked, I was told.
Well, I mean, I'm the one who's saying that because I just looked very arrhythmic. Certainly there were plays, like people are talking about a ton of pass attempts that went to Evan Ingram. A lot of those are shorter passes. There was one particular play in 11-on-11 that stood out to me, and it was Bo Nix was on a hard play action pass. It was what I call a boomerang route, which is where you begin the process. Evan Ingram running the route of running an over drag route, which is about 10 to 12 yards. It's mirroring the quarterback's bootleg, and then you slam the brakes on and you return in basically a kind of a high angle fashion to where you came from. And he created a lot of separation. Bo missed the throw. Evan Ingram had multiple opportunities to catch balls that were just thrown by Bo Nix outside of his his catch radius. And then I just didn't feel like there was much. I mean, RJ Harvey had one good run. Troy Franklin had one good 50-50 catch down the field, but the play would have been ruled a sack. Overall, I just didn't feel like the offense had any type of flow. And it was a much longer practice, so it was a bigger sample size than yesterday, which was just about, it was yesterday about 20 reps of 11-on-11 football. Today was closer to probably 55, 65 reps. And at no point did you feel like the offense was rhythmic. That's okay to me. That's okay. It's not reason for panic. If you get to a point where you're 4, 5, 6 days in a row of this type of an offensive performance, Bo Nix's confidence will be a little bit shaken. Trust me, I've been around it. And this is what we said all offseason. The offseason decisions in free agency add Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, and then drafting him with your first round selection, Jahdae Barron. You added strength to strength. Okay? So yes, you want your defense to be dominant. If it's not dominant, you got problems.
Right.
But I do think just the under the surface piece of what I see is there are a lot of good pieces on this Broncos offense. At what point is this franchise going to invest in a player that terrifies NFL defense coordinators? You don't have that player right now.
Wow.
Who terrifies a defensive coordinator in the National Football League?
You've made your investment in your offensive pieces. You made your decision in the draft, Coach. You've kind of, nobody necessarily.
But there are a lot of, just to be clear, there are a lot of really good players on offense.
Yeah, that's what they think for sure.
No, there is. I mean, you went to the playoffs. You were able, in NFL regular season games against NFL starting defenses, you scored, greater than 30 points multiple times. You looked really good on the road offensively, in my opinion, against Tampa, a team that made some noise in the NFC in the playoffs. You obliterated the Browns, the Falcons. So you've done some really good things, but
the JV Chiefs,
you got after, you threw it after them. I just don't know if there's anybody, man. And today was the first day where I looked around. I'm like, dude, this defense is better than this offense. This is a top 3 NFL defense and a middle of the road NFL offense.
Well, here's what Sean Payton had to say about that.
You know, if the running game is where you want it when the season begins, is it mindset? And then you just got to see.
Well, I don't.
How do you know?
I don't know. Even after week 1, we better be improving.
Wrong clip, Coach. Here it is.
Listen, I think, there's that iron sharpens iron. I just finished talking about these physical practices and the necessity of what we're building. And and how we go about doing it. And I think it's fantastic, because it's a back and forth. There's going to be some days coming off this field that you guys will feel like one side of the ball maybe, and that's the ebb and flow of a training camp. But that competition, not only offense and defense, but the competition within the position groups.
Yep.
Okay. So he was saying that was fine today.
No, it should be fine.
Going to happen.
Yeah, and it's the ebb and flow. And I think it's a good sign for the Broncos as a franchise that their defense, particularly with the new pieces that you added that are participating in 11-on-11 drills, namely Greenlaw, Hufanga, that this defense looks as advertised. It's terrifying. It is terrifying.
Okay.
So is that really good defense?
Is that iron sharpening iron, or iron piercing the heart of your opponent and leave them dead and bleeding on the ground?
As long as it's the opponent, it's not the psyche of your own offense, which I don't believe is going to happen, because I think through multiple days of this training camp, the offense has found success. The commitment of the Denver Broncos to being more of a wide zone team, I think that's a fairly common theme for a lot of people that are watching practice, and even talking to Garrett Bowles and hearing about some of the schemes from both RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. The zone scheme is something that a year ago I felt the Broncos offensive line was a grab bag, which is okay. It's kind of my background is I like gap schemes. I like wide zone. I like a little inside zone. I like a little duo, which is a gap scheme without a puller. It appears that the Broncos, because of the acquisition of both RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins, they want to major in something in the run game, and that appears to be the wide zone, which we all know here in the Mile High Country, it was pretty good to the Mike Shanahan Denver Broncos, the old outside zone play. And I think that's going to be good for the Broncos. But I do think that what it's revealing to me, a day like today, where you're just like, wow, they couldn't pass protect great today.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody appeared to get a lot of separation on the perimeter. There was a lot of short passing that was bottled up by quick tag offs or thuds, wrap up. It just reminded me, is there anybody on this offensive unit that can emerge as the guy? I don't know that it's built that way.
Pro 16K, second day. Give me a break.
Wasn't the second day. This is not the second day. Anybody who thinks it's the second day, these guys have been going OTAs, mini camps, the continuation with the veteran football team. And in fact, as it relates to the Denver Broncos, this is their 8th day as it relates to training camp. So yeah, the media has been around. Today was our 5th day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Thursday, yes. Friday, Saturday,
yeah.
Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
And if you go by some of the media members, they'll take attendance and let you know who was there and who wasn't. But yeah, I do know that today was day 5, tomorrow's day 6. And the Broncos did have 2-3 days that preceded those public practices. So today was, Courtland Sutton even said it was day 8 today.
Coach, I'll let you know. I take attendance at Nuggets and As games too.
Cool. How tell me about the results of that, generally speaking.
Well, some people are failing miserably.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But,
so it kind of can go both ways, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we had, I don't mean to rain on a parade, but Sean Payton was trying to put things in perspective today, okay? So I do want to play this because he gives the reality of the situation that exists now in the NFL. And listen, not that every day isn't important, and I love doing these updates and all that, but boy, oh boy, Coach, have things changed in terms of training camp and preseason. It really is. I mean, it's night and day from, 5 years ago. It's changed so dramatically with one less preseason game, less of an emphasis. And I really blame Sean McVay for this more than anybody, who basically started the trend of not playing anybody in preseason, and the amount of money that these guys are getting, Coach, and the extension of an extra game in the regular season. So here's what Sean Payton had to say about keeping things in perspective.
You know if the running game is where you want it when the season begins. Is it mindset, and then you just got to see?
Well, I don't.
How do you know?
I don't know. Even after week 1, you know, we better be improving to week 2 and to week 3, and I think, you know, we'll have an idea at the quarter pole where we're at. You know, it's a good question, but you know, you go into that first game and you know, as a head coach, you're anxious to see what areas excel, you know, where do we need growth. And so I always talk about that first month of the regular season. There's that race that you're having with everyone else to improve. And I think when we get through those first 4 weeks, you guys, myself included, will all have a better feel for, hey, this is what we're seeing now. It looks positive. And I think, you know, I think that's something that that will be real important.
Sean, you got definitely lineups too.
The truth is, Coach, we won't know anything until the regular season starts definitively. We won't know about the running game. We won't know anything. That's why I love how the Broncos season starts. In fact, you start with the Tennessee Titans, and hey, I'm glad Cam Ward looks like he's doing good. That's what I'm catching.
Yeah, he threw 3 interceptions today, which was a really good day. First day in pods.
I did not catch that. Is that right?
Yeah, really solid. Hey, great news. Okay, I do have some great news for Denver Broncos on a day that I think I'm one of the only ones in the media that's kind of casting any kind of dark cloud like the cloud cover that we gloriously had here in the Denver Metro today.
That was good.
On the offensive performance today. On the bright side of the open available media practices, public practices, allegedly, Bo Nix is the only NFL starting quarterback who has yet to throw an interception at training camp.
Is that right?
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Is that right? Okay. Yep.
I like
Do you think he's okay? The only reason I'm hesitating on that is I saw Peyton Manning throw an interception a day during training camp.
Touching the hot stove can be a big benefit, man. It's like, how far can you stretch yourself? But
yeah,
today was one of those days where you didn't really get much going at all. So
yeah.
I don't know if forcing balls would have been a great vibe.
All right. Well, let me ask: were there sacks? Were there incompletions? Yeah,
there was a lot. It was a heavy pressure day. A lot of tightly contested coverage with
McGlinchey full go.
McGlinchey was out there going today. He was. He didn't play every rep with the ones, but he started every period as the starting right tackle. Okay. So there could be some ring rust there. It appeared like there was a lot of play action pass by the Broncos. So imagine built off of the wide zone plays where you're running those wide zones and the quarterback starts the bootleg and then sets up. The Broncos defense, man, did such a good job of setting the edges and creating a very viced pocket on those play action movement type throws where the quarterback had to, essentially step up, find some wiggle room, couldn't find it. And then there were a lot of just late throws that were frankly throwaways. That's what I saw with a lot of frequency over the course of the practice.
All right. How in tune, real quick, how in tune is the defense to what the offense is going to run, though? Meaning, how much can they cheat?
And this is why I stand by this theory that is held true for my father. 49 years of coaching football. I should have gotten an extra year next year for 50, but just retired. And then myself of 20 years of coaching football and then basically 10 playing. Is that if your offense is light years ahead of your defense in training camp for multiple days, you better put your house on the market if you're a coach, because your staff's getting fired.
Okay.
Because your defense should be ahead because of strictly the nature of timing, new personnel, the intricacies of offensive football. There's a lot more room for error. And it's like the Bolshoi ballet, right? The Russian Bolshoi ballet, that it's got to be perfectly choreographed with unbelievable levels of auditions and tryouts and practice before it even remotely looks like it should look. But then you throw into the fact that the defense knows a lot of your calls. They know a lot of your audibles at the line of scrimmage. They know a lot of your checks. And so then you kind of get into a little bit of a pissing contest and change up your checks, or you present a fake check that makes the defense think this is coming when indeed the play action or trick plays coming off of it. And it's like hey, you guys are cheaters. I caught you, you bunch of cheaters. So that's the gamesmanship that goes back and forth. So the fact that the Broncos defense was that much better just today is a good thing for this football team, in my opinion.
Okay. RJ Harvey, according to our own Tyler Columbus and others, got blown up blocking on one play, but Sean Payton also gave him kudos for other stuff. How was his day, RJ Harvey?
Well, I mean, you're starting to see natural pass catcher, which I saw yesterday in practice. I mentioned it on I think the best recap show in the market because of you, DMac, not me, clearly, but okay. And I thought today he had a couple runs. Sean Payton after practice in his post practice scrum mentioned that there was something where there was a cut he made and an acceleration to get to the perimeter to get to the edge, where Sean said, I looked at all the coaching staff and like, yep, we got one. And I think the tandem of J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, insofar as they both stay healthy, it's going to be, I'm going to say like a lighter version of what Detroit has in the Lions backfield with Montgomery and the other freak show that they have with Williams. Is it Williams or what's his name?
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. The two-headed monster. Sonic and Knuckles, I know that. I'm thinking of the receiver, Jameson, and then there's the running back. Somebody will tell me.
Today, we got the news that Alex Singleton is traveling to Los Angeles for surgery. Okay. And Sean Payton said, give him a week or so, and he'll be back with the club.
Yep.
We good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Probably a hand specialist that the Broncos staff feels really good about. Could be a personal choice of Alex Singleton, but I'm guessing it's most likely somebody that the Broncos see as a hand specialist. When you get into some of these weird surgeries, like him smashing, I don't know which finger it was. Have we learned? Is it an index?
Thumb. It was definitely
a
thumb. Yeah.
So it was the tip of the thumb, and you just don't. I mean, typically there's going to be a pin put in it. You're going to try to create some coalescing of the bones around that pin. And so you want to have somebody who's reputable and has a relationship with the Broncos, so that it isn't a botched surgery that it forces Alex Singleton to play the next 3-4 years in a club as well.
Heard Jahdae Barron was kind of in and out, and I'm not surprised by that.
Yep.
And yeah, I get it. First round picks should start. That's the idea. But let's face it, coach, it was a luxury pick. And he might not be as good of an option, say, as Jaquan McMillan.
Yeah.
And
fair.
Not be as good of an option as Riley Moss on the outside.
Fair.
You may see a situation where your first round pick is in a bit of a rotation rather a starting position, correct?
Are you okay with that, DMac?
I'm fine with it as long as RJ Harvey and Pat Bryant prove out to be who you think they should be, and that Evan Engram is dangerous. If all that is the case, then the Jahdae Barron pick is actually kind of brilliant because it's a building block for the future. You just have to understand what you gave up for that. Yeah. And if you get production from Harvey and Bryant and Engram, then you're okay.
All right,
if you don't, it'll be a question mark.
So DMac, and I hate to be
and you have to keep your eyes specifically on Matthew Golden. But go ahead.
I was just going to get to. I hate to be the already, speculating, because I really do like Jahdae Barron. I think he's going to be a terrific player for the Broncos. Did I feel like he's maybe hit a little bit of the rookie wall in training camp, like the beginning stages of the rookie wall? Maybe. Does he look a little bit physically like on the smaller side?
He's a smaller guy, period.
Yeah. Does Riley Moss, Pat Surtain II, certainly Talanoa Hufanga, Brandon Jones look decidedly more confident right now than Jahdae Barron out there
and
with the starting unit?
When I saw Surtain standing next to Barron, it was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's two different creatures.
And in all honesty, even seeing Riley Moss next to Jahdae Barron, and maybe not physically with height, but as Sean Payton even said, the Riley Moss has length. And you can tell. I mean, never mind next to the safeties, my God. I mean, but Jahdae Barron as a nickel, I mean, I mean, you gotta take care of like running backs and tight ends in that position too.
So if we want to get into the I told you so or the hypotheticals, shoulda, coulda, woulda, man, look no further than the 2024 draft, in which you saw the 23rd pick in the draft be Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver that went to Jacksonville and had an unbelievably good rookie season. If you have in the 25 draft a rookie wide receiver, a rookie running back in the form of either Quinshawn Judkins, Amarian Hampton, who are the other running back? Travion Henderson.
Yes.
If you have Terrence Ferguson of the Rams.
Okay, we're going tight ends now. All right.
Okay. Either way, what did I mention that I don't think that the Broncos had when we started this out tonight?
Hey, I get it.
They don't have a player on the offensive side of the football that terrifies the defense.
We literally talked about it for weeks, maybe months before the draft.
Yeah. Now, I had this argument. I think I heard you talking about Matthew Golden because I don't know if you've seen any of the clips from Green Bay Packers training camp.
Not yet. No. Wow, that's your guy. Oh my God.
They look really good.
Do they really?
The clips of Jordan Love uncorking the football. Jordan Love's one of those players that he can bite. He gnaws off the pin of the grenade and just chucks that son of a gun over the wall.
Well, you're talking about players that terrify you, that scare you. I'm not saying Golden or Franklin and Mims don't have that speed because they do. But, Golden's one of those dudes, man. He's a dude.
He is. Here's who I think the player is that needs to be utilized now and then developed now to be the player that terrifies defensive coordinators. You have him on your roster. And it's Marvin Mims, man.
Okay.
For whatever reason, 2 training camps in a row. Just kind of quiet, man. There's just not a lot of targeting of Marvin Mims. There's not a lot of hey, let's hard play action pass. Let's take a defense right now in the Denver Broncos defense. It's highly confident, plays a ton of tightly contested bump and run, man coverage, physical, and let's throw the ball over their heads. And the guy that can do it is Marvin Mims Jr.
Yeah.
Why not try that right now?
Okay.
And don't wait till week 10 of the season like last year. Did it not feel that way?
Listen, man, you feel that way. They ignored him his rookie year, and he had to rip on Russell Wilson to a fan in the stands. And Sean Payton basically apologized for it at the end of the year. And they did better last year. But what was weird, too, is that Bo Nix had a hard time finding a rhythm with Troy Franklin, who was his college teammate.
He's much improved.
Well, good.
Troy Franklin looks good.
Listen. I'm just telling you the reality of the situation. Jaquan McMillan and Chris Abrams-Drain may be better options at the beginning of the season.
Today, yep.
All right, so that's just the truth of the matter.
Chris Abrams-Drain's a good player, man. He's a good cover corner. Jaquan McMillan, man, I would argue that he, over the course of the last year and a half of NFL regular season play and, postseason, if you will, but I would argue that Jaquan McMillan's a top 7 nickel in the National Football League.
They're seasoned guys, coach.
Yeah.
They've played in real games. Like, I'm not trying to expect too much out of Barron. And let's face it, we've seen this with the Broncos. These guys do slip for a reason in the first round.
Right.
And in the mocks, Barron was kind of a floater. Some mocks had him as high
top
as maybe
10.
Yeah, but I saw him
second
round. I saw him. He wasn't like a slam dunk top of the end first round guy. No way.
He's a little smaller. He's a little smaller than I would have thought.
And he was all over the place. Listen, It was the I told you so draft, but the truth of the matter is the Broncos may have given up on a dynamic offensive weapon for a role player. Maybe. And they don't have a choice. They just got to put the best guys out there. The defense is too good. What they have is too good to do anything less. And I'm not trying to crap on the kid at all, okay?
No, he's going to be
the reality of the situation.
And to be fair, I think he's had a good camp. I just found it interesting that today Jaquan McMillan started quite a few of the periods out with the first string defense, which is a fairly new development here in the second week of training camp.
And by the way, the thought that he'll be rotating to the outside, please give me a break. That is not going to happen.
No.
It might not even happen if there's an injury to Surtain or to Moss, frankly.
Yeah, I think it'll be Chris Abrams-Drain. I do.
Right. Yep. Who is bigger, more experienced, and more physical.
Yeah, and honestly, you look out there and you see a really confident player when you see KAD out there.
You sure do. You sure do. Okay, let's get on to Courtland Sutton and give him some props. Here's when Sean Payton knew there was something special with Courtland.
Was there a certain moment that you said, this is a guy that is what we're all about, or was it kind of...
I think it was early on. I mean, I think it was early on. He'd had an injury year. I remember looking at some 2019 film and bringing him in saying, look, I want this guy. You know, whatever your weight was that year, you know, oftentimes if we're not paying attention, a player in a skill position will gain additional weight, and I don't know that it's always a good thing, but just his consistency, and he reminds me of a number of players I've coached, and I'm glad we have an opportunity to coach him.
Sean, as you watch.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. After you, DMac.
No, I was just saying, go ahead. What's your
so it's funny when you mentioned you play that clip about Sean Payton fat shaming Courtland Sutton or body shaming Courtland Sutton, because I saw when I saw Courtland Sutton this year, even more so than a year ago. Last year, I remember I was like, Courtland Sutton looks in really good shape.
He was ripped last year.
Yeah, this year he looks like he's lost even more weight.
Okay.
And I think that's a good thing when you get into years 8, 9, and 10 in your career as a high impact cutting position.
Yeah.
I mean, I can speak for myself. My knees and ankles and joints and back feel a lot better when I'm carrying around 202 pounds than when I'm carrying around 227 pounds.
Sure.
I mean, that's just the bottom line. And I think that Courtland Sutton he's more dynamic, he's more explosive. And I'm sure that Sean Payton has consistently conveyed that message to Courtland Sutton over the course of the last 3 years since he's been here. And I think that's a reason why. And I think Courtland Sutton could even thank Sean Payton for that vision for him as a player. I want the guy that was lighter in 2019.
Yeah.
And I want it maybe even better in 2025 than it was in 24.
Okay.
And so I give a lot of credit to Sean Payton. That's the thing when you have a really confident head coach and an accomplished head coach. It's a little bit like what me as a high school coach. I can go in because I've coached at major college universities and I immediately have credibility in the high school locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly Sean Payton has immediate credibility the day he walked in.
No doubt.
Because he's won a damn Super Bowl and he's got a movie with Kevin James playing him.
That is true.
So people listen to what he says. And then if he's got an accurate vision for players, that can end up leading to, oh, by the way, $92 million extensions for a player like Courtland Sutton. And it was a special moment today. It really was, to be there in the media scrum and listen to Courtland Sutton just I would say very transparently, very authentically talk about how grateful he is to be in the position he is and knowing that a third contract is very rare in the National Football League. I'll tell you this. Courtland Sutton's a terrific football player. I already started this day out in this podcast out by saying that there's nobody on this offense that's going to absolutely mortify any opponent's defenses. But dude, that's a really good player.
And I take every day as an opportunity to be able to chase greatness within myself. 1% better, whether it's a football thing, whether it's a life thing, whether it's recovery, film, pre-practice, post-practice, all these different things. I feel like if you get to a place of complacency in your life, whether it's career-wise or personal, then you get to a spot where you're no longer able to grow. And there's always growth that's able to be done. And, I tell the young guys all the time, man, I'm always trying to find different ways to, master and become better in my craft on and off the field. And I'm a thief when it comes to finding different ways to be better, whether it's a recovery thing, whether it's watching film, whether it's a pre-practice thing, whether it's a post-practice thing. I'm always trying to find something to, be better at whatever it is I can be better at. And complacency scares me. And so to find different ways to step forward and continue to better myself, I'm trying to do that.
Court, you mentioned that.
Do we have a new nickname? The Thief?
Yeah. So we have the addict in Evan Ingram, who's addicted to getting better, which I love that. That's a bar that I'm going to show my team.
Yeah.
Like, I want, like, as a coach, I want players that are addicted to getting better. And then I love what Courtland said is we have the addict in Evan Ingram and the thief in Courtland Sutton. And he's out there even when he went over to Chad Ochocinco's route running expo or whatever the hell it was. And he's spending time with Jamar Chase. I think T. Higgins was there. I think Justin Jefferson was there. Certainly Chad Ochocinco. And he's going to pick little things up. He's going to steal them and plagiarize them, and that's one of the things that I've taken in my coaching career. A lot of times when you go out and develop an offensive scheme or a defensive scheme, a lot of it's all about stealing ideas from other people and then making them your own. So we use this line at Boise State, the offense, Chris Peterson, one of the great offensive minds. But he was a mastermind at copying other teams and what they were doing. And he said, we're like 3M, the company 3M. We're taking your ideas and making them better, which I know is awesome. And that's kind of what I think Courtland Sutton's speaking to right there.
And complacency, what was that line? Is the enemy? Something along those lines?
Yeah, I hate complacency. I'm afraid of complacency. It's funny because I was terrified. I think he said I'm terrified of complacency. And
I'm a thief to get better. I'm terrified of complacency.
Just dropping bars left and right today, man.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
It was like a 90s, late 90s Eminem song. But what I think is cool when you hear Evan Ingram and Courtland Sutton in back-to-back days is you got two pros, man. You got two growth-minded individuals that are later on in their career, and you can just tell they want to continue to get better. And when you see Courtland Sutton, I don't feel an old player. I don't. I feel a seasoned player, but I don't feel an old player.
Turns 30 in October. He's in the prime of his career.
He is, and he's taking great care of his body.
Yeah.
I would argue that he looks better today when I watch him run routes and bounce around at practice. The energy he has, I think he looks better today than he did when I first watched him play in person when I first arrived to the Colorado, market in 2022, 2023.
If smart people want to have a hot take, they'll look at a quarterback under a rookie contract with a returning head coach who picked him. They'll look at the best cornerback, defensive player of the year in Surtain, and they'll look at Courtland Sutton as basically a bargain, frankly, for what he can really bring to the table. And if you're really sharp, you'll see a pass rush with Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen, Jonathan Franklin Myers, DJ Jones, and most specifically Nick Bonito, and a depth in the secondary is like no other. And a returning offensive line that, listen, it's not perfect perhaps, but it's experienced, it's well paid, and they've been together now for a chunk of time. Coach, my man, I mean, there could be the elements of a very dangerous team here, and you wouldn't blame people. And I did see Mike Florio on with Rich Eisen today, put it out there like, hey, man, don't sleep on the Denver Broncos.
Bowl, man. Start thinking Super Bowl.
I mean, it's not crazy. I'm not saying this year, but I think if they weren't one of the top 4 teams in the AFC and playing in the AFC Championship in 2026, in all honesty, to me, that'd be a little bit of a disappointment because this band is returning.
Yeah,
this band is coming
back.
Right.
No, you've built this thing in a sustainable way. And if you're talking top 4 AFC as the marker in 26, it's crazy. It's either that your defense is that good. Think 2015 Denver Broncos. Think some of those Baltimore Ravens defenses that were just otherworldly with Trent Dilfer playing quarterback. Or it means that Bo Nix is going to need to become somebody that's in the AFC quarterback conversation to get into the top 4. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, I'm with you because nobody appreciates the importance of quarterback more than me. But if who did I
miss?
Well, no, you didn't miss anybody.
Okay.
Well, I mean, how many props? CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. I mean, I don't know how many props you want to put out there.
Yep.
And I'm rolling my eyes if you want to put Geno Smith in that mix too. I don't. And then who knows with Drake May and Tua Tagovailoa, will he make it through a game? So, but let me point something out. I understand what you're saying about those top guys. Okay, no argument there. And trust me, let's just have one of those guys. We're fine. Jalen Hurts managed a team to a Super Bowl victory, Coach. Now, I get it. It's not the same competition in the NFC as a quarterback-led AFC. I do get that. But that did happen. It did happen with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. True.
There was a commitment to being able to optimize what Jalen Hurts does particularly well, which is use those incredibly gifted thunder thighs in the run game. And
that is true.
And I haven't yet seen, even though Sean Payton did talk about kind of his desire to utilize Bo Nix his running abilities and called runs, which I was excited about.
Sure.
Now it was very transparent about his call sheet. Is very different nowadays than it would have been a decade ago, where the run game would have been just pretty standard runs with outside zone, inside zone, power counter. Now he said there's a quarterback driven run section. There's a zone read section. There's an RPO section.
Exciting.
And those are things that Bo Nix does really well. I think that this defense is going to be worthy of elevating this team into the top 6 discussion of AFC teams immediately. And I think whether you're in the top 4, top 2 discussion the next 2 years, it's gonna largely depend on the development of Bo Nix. We'll find out.
We will have full coverage for you tomorrow starting at 6 a.m. Make sure you like and subscribe. We are proud to do our little internet show.
Your own little internet shows are driving me crazy. Listen.
But we have them for you. Not only are all the radio shows broadcast live, including Raj and Coach, amongst others from training camp, but also Hot Mike with Hastings and Lindahl, Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock, DMac Smack Mondays and Thursdays. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. More of that to come as we roll through the football season. Thank you to Ramos Law, medical attorney and doctor. Find him at ramoslaw.com. Injured in an accident? Again, call our great friends at Ramos Law. Contact ramoslaw.com. You'd be pretty stupid to call a website. I want to play as we wrap up here a little.
I was worried that you weren't going to pay the tees, man. I felt like you were wrapping the show up. Like, Darren McKee, guy's been doing this for a gazillion years. He's not going to pay the tees. I'm going to be left on a cliffhanger.
No way, buddy. I pay you for sticking around, and we appreciate everybody. Deion Sanders did an interview with Michael Irvin. Now, if you didn't catch the news from Cleveland, Jimmy Haslam came out and said, "Hey, Shadur Sanders wasn't my idea. Andrew Berry, our GM, that's him." What a wild statement for an owner to actually say. Right. And let me tell you this. There is no draft pick, 0 of the Denver Broncos that Greg Penner would not be aware of and good to go with. There is 0 chance you would hear a quote like that coming from the Broncos. None, because they communicate well with each other. That's an unhinged comment, in my opinion, for an owner to say, throwing not only a player, but also your GM under the bus.
The only reason I think he said it, Jimmy Haslam, is because there was a lot of rumor surrounding Andrew Berry's reaction to Shadur Sanders' name being called on draft day after having just drafted Dillon Gabriel. So I think Jimmy Haslam was ultimately trying to eliminate any question, any infighting that it was a me pick versus Dillon Gabriel being an Andrew Berry pick, if that makes sense.
Whatever. You want to put yourself...
Either way, when you draft 2 quarterbacks like they did, and one of them is the son of one of the greatest players of all time and a huge storyline in college football, and he's the second one drafted, something's fishy.
Yeah, let me tell you what I heard from an interesting little birdie, that there was pressure from Roger Goodell to get Shadur drafted. And hey, Browns, take one for the team here for the NFL. Now, I could see Haslam wanting to separate himself from those rumors, saying, hey, man, this was our GM. This had nothing to do with me,
Right.
which is also code for I wasn't coerced by anybody to do this. This was my GM. Now, I'm feeling a little bit for Shadur here. I am. I felt for him on draft.
Up in this. Yeah.
I felt for him on draft night, and now we know what Prime was going through while that was all going on. Brutal. And now, how about this very honest moment? Because Shadur, you got to understand, he's not getting reps with the ones. He's barely doing anything now.
Yeah, he's the only one in that rotation that has not yet gotten a rep with the first string offense in Cleveland.
Okay, not easy. And here is Michael Irvin with Prime about that topic.
Talk to me about that excitement watching them in the NFL. I saw you went and visit Shiloh.
Yeah,
down Tampa.
Shadur told me not to come. Yeah, let's get that out.
I was about to ask why you hadn't gone to Cleveland.
He didn't want me to come. He's like, Dad, I may get 3-4 reps at practice. I don't want you seeing that. Like, come on, no, I'm not where I need to be. Let me get where I need to be. And it's so funny because this is his first time, man.
Yeah.
Ever. And he's dealing with it like a pro. Like he ain't mad, he ain't bitter. He's like, I got work to do, but I'm gonna put in this work. One thing, they're gonna have to let me play. Preseason gonna come. And when preseason come, watch me work. I'm like, I already know what you're gonna do. I ain't worried about that. I know. But he didn't want me to come. And Charles told her, obviously, come on down there. You know, Charles, he was happy. But Junior been with me every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Okay, he goes, he praises Junior for being there. But I've been in this situation, Coach, as a dad. And it didn't happen for me.
Did you have a film crew following you around?
I did not.
In your reactions?
That's my own little personal film crew.
Okay.
But I know what it's like to be in a situation where you want to be supportive and you want to be there for everything. But your kid's not playing or not playing that much or whatever. Right. And it actually is, and this is heartbreaking. It's more embarrassing for the kid to have you there.
Yep.
It sucks. And as a parent, all you want to be is supportive. And it's hard to understand as a parent sometimes why your kid isn't being given the opportunity. And sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't. And it's out of your hands. And the last thing you want is the heartbreaking look on your kid's face when he's not being given the opportunity that you were hoping so much for and you had so much sort of desires to see. It is difficult. And I don't care at what level it is. If it's an 8-year-old kid, if it's a high school kid, college pro, I feel for him. And to have your son tell you, Dad, please don't even show up. Yeah. I actually get that. And it's tough. Period. It is tough.
Yeah, as somebody now that's dealing with a fairly hot topic of parents in the Denver sports community, I would tell you this. I have learned, even with my own daughter, now my sons that are not quite in the age of playing time being something that's hotly contested, is I try to look at it from the perspective of every coach that my kids play for, and then me as a coach that coaches people's kids. Man, the word meritocracy's got to mean something that is based off of talent. Talent matters. Okay. Talent matters. And I think a lot of parents think it's, well, my son went to everything and was there every single day. Well, if you look at the definition of meritocracy, the number one thing that comes out in the Merriam-Webster is that talent is part of meritocracy. It's based off your gifts and abilities, in addition to your accountability, in addition to what kind of teammate you are. But all of those things need to come together. And when you're a coach, being on the other side of this for a long time, where my livelihood depended upon the decisions that I made as it related to utilizing my personnel, who's the starter, how often do I play these players? If I make my decisions based on anything but what gives our team the best chance to win, then I'm getting fired. And that's the case at really every level. I would say high school and above. Heck, I'd even say some travel ball coaches are the same way.
Depends.
Get fired by organizations, by gyms, you know? And so that's my whole thing, is that you can't control it. And I know it's got to be hard for Coach Prime because, frankly, he mentioned it.
Yeah.
First time he's been on his own. It's the first time that Coach Prime isn't just determining and deciding the reps.
That's right. And let me just be completely honest, and we appreciate you watching. This is why one of the biggest reasons I plug away for a first-round quarterback. Because the higher you, and I got it, and I've heard the cliches, next man up, all that sort of stuff. I always laughed at that. I'd say, yeah, next man up, if the next man's also making $10 million a year, which he's not. If the next man is also a first-round draft pick, which he's not, and like it or not like it, the effort in which an athlete is acquired will give him privilege over those that were lower initially. Period. The end. It doesn't matter. You might have an opportunity to move up, and the Rudy stories, it feels like everybody has a Tom Brady Rudy story, but that really is not the case. If you really look through the NFL, coach, it is just first round, second round, third round, another first round, second round, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But we're not looking at an entire team of 5th, 6th, and 7th rounders out there.
No question.
Not really. And frankly, if your team is loaded with 5th, 6th, and 7th rounders, you probably suck at the end of the day, because these guys are getting paid millions of dollars to evaluate talent on the NFL level. Millions of dollars. And what? All those guys, all those teams are wrong for 5 rounds before they take Shadur Sanders? I'm sorry, my man. It's going to be rough for Shadur.
Yeah, it is.
Rough.
It is. I did like what Coach Prime said. At some point, preseason football is going to come around, and I'm going to go do my thing.
I got you, but we started this whole thing by telling you preseason ain't what it used to be.
Yeah, correct.
And you are not going to be going against the ones.
No.
You have a better chance instead of preseason games impressing at joint practices.
Speaking of preseason football, you knew who's going to have just a lights out preseason.
Who's that?
This year? Sam Ellinger. Whatever Vegas has right now on over unders on total yards and touchdown passes.
Put it on Ellinger.
Rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Just smash the over.
That's
just obliterate the over.
Well, I'm
Sam
glad
Ellinger is balling right now. He's going to be playing against 3rd and 4th stringers.
Well, Valor Christian reposted this stream. You got anything to do with that, or is that an eager beaver there at good old Valor Christian?
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's very cool. I love it. Coach Rock's now dethroned Creek. All right, people are getting excited. Calm down, everybody.
What happened there? What happened?
Some rah-rah against Creek.
How about this? You
talked to Coach Logan today, by the way, who was out there?
I missed him. I didn't see him.
He was there.
I need to say what's up to him, but Cherry Creek, congratulations to Cherry Creek. Just named as the athletics program of the year for the entire nation.
Wow.
On Max Preps, which is the only really centralized source that covers all high school sports. So you're talking above Modern Day, above IMG, above Bishop Gorman, Cherry Creek, number 1. Super congratulations to them. And all I can say is motivation. I want to be there.
That's the real deal. You know, being a Smoky Hill, you can see Smoky Hill right here. We really hate Eagle Crest.
Oh yeah.
We always love beating
7-on-7 tournament.
Eagle Crest has had some good teams over the years.
Yeah, really, really well coached team. Good.
But we always couldn't do anything but respect Creek, in all honesty.
Yeah.
They were annoying that they were so good. So beating Creek, and we got to beat Creek in baseball one year, which, trust me, I can't believe that happened. But Little Smoky Hill did beat Creek in baseball, which was amazing. It was really seriously one of the highlights.
That's a funny thing. I noticed it even at the UNC team football camp. When you're Valor or Creek or, some of these teams that they carry around, I guess, some historical significance.
Sure.
When you're scrimmaging against the team, like we scrimmaged a team from Northeast Nebraska just for a couple plays, Sterling High School. And they scored a touchdown and in a scrimmage. And it might've been the biggest moment of their year. And it was cool. Like, I thought that was awesome. It was great for our kids to be humbled, to learn. And it was great for them to have that memory to tell, and even a boost of confidence for the rest of their season.
No doubt
And
about it.
And then we resorted to making sure we scored on the next 8 consecutive plays.
Well, Smoky Hill beat Creek, and 2 days later they got us. But
yeah,
they got us. Oh, let me see. Every single other time for the past decade. Trust me.
yeah.
Beating him even one time was a big
pretty
deal.
awesome though. Still
But
pretty
hey,
fun.
listen, I have nothing. Creek was in my school district, the Cherry Creek School District. I've known so many kids and athletes that I love from Creek and coaches, and they deserve it because, Coach, it's not just that they're the best athletic school. They have the best violin player. They have the most perfect SATs and AP scores. They have the best, whatever at everything at Creek, so it's an exceptional place.
Yeah,
What
there
are
it
you
is.
showing me?
The Max Prep Cup champions.
That's wonderful.
2024,
Congratulations.
2025, Cherry Creek High School. Congratulations, and we're gunning for you. That's all I
Okay.
can say.
Listen, we appreciate you
Gosh, your own little internet shows are driving me crazy. Listen.
listening to our own little internet show. We'll be back tomorrow night at 8:30. It'll be a shorter version as we have Hot Mike with Andy and Scott Hastings at 9 o'clock. But we'll be live at 8:30 as we recap the Broncos at training camp. Another kind of cloudy, cool day.
Love it.
They're amping up.
Word of the day tomorrow. The word of the day tomorrow.
What's that?
Response. Bo Nix's favorite word. Respond.